Recording will start. Okay. So before we start with runtime or dynamic polymorphism, uh, we will discuss some program. This is just to understand what is your level of understanding of pointer concept. Okay. So just you have already learned this pointer concept in C language, though with respect to object oriented also, like class, how to use it with class and all that. So we will first see the pointer concept, okay, and then we'll start with virtual functions and runtime polymorphism. So I'll write here one program. If any syntax error is there, please let me know, because I'm typing also at the same time explaining it. So if you observe anything like semicolon missing ऐसे कुछ हो गया तो let me know. Similarly, void display function. One function is get function is to take the input from the user for this x variable, and this display function will display the value of x on the screen. So x here we are displaying. Okay. Now here in main program, I'll create an object of this. Okay, object of E. So let us call it as object of E. Now, how to call these methods, get and display methods? Yes, this should be an interactive session actually. I'm expecting answers from you all. So,
A object dot get.
yes, a object dot get, and similarly a object dot display. है ना? This is how we call the function. This is very simple that we understand. Okay. Now, suppose I declare one pointer here. Okay, pointer of type. Suppose the purpose of this pointer is to point to this object. Okay, so how to declare that pointer? The purpose of the pointer is to point to a object. So how to declare it?
A star A object.
A star, and then let us call it as a pointer. Name of that will make it as a pointer, because the job, see, when we are creating integer type of pointer, it will point to integer variable. If we create float pointer, it will point to float variable. So similarly, if we create a pointer of type class, okay, it will point to that corresponding object. Okay, so the type of this pointer, a pointer, should be what? That class name and this asterisk, this pointer. Okay, so we have created this pointer of type class. Now, how to make this pointer point to this object?
A ptr arrow get.
Yes, a ptr. No. How to make it point to that object? It is not pointing to. Have you assigned the address of that object? पहिले काय करायला
APTR
लागतं?
equals to
Objectचा address you need to store it in that pointer. है ना?
ampersand a object.
Yes, ampersand a object. Right? So now this object, address of this object will get stored in this pointer. Like if you remember, you how do you do it for normal integer type of variables? Like say integer I and then star ptr. So like this you declare both of type integer, And then what you do, ptr is equal to ampersand I. So this will make this pointer point to I. So similarly here also, just compare it with this. Okay, compare it with this. Here I have declared this pointer. On same line also I can declare it, like here instead of having it separately. Is it possible? Can I have it on same line?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, the way I'm having it for normal integer type. So this is how we have declared it, and then how to make it point to the object, like this way. Okay, ptr is equal to and I. So similarly, a pointer is equal to ampersand a object. Okay, so it will hold the address of the object. Okay, so similarly, same syntax I'm using here also. Now, using this pointer, if I have to access this get and display method, okay, using object, if I have to access this get and display method, I use dot or membership operator. This is called as membership operator. Okay, dot. So similarly, here also using pointer, if I have to access this get and display. So how to access using pointer? Yes,
Arrow operator.
Arrow.
arrow operator, and then the name of that method. Okay, so when it is pointer, we need to use arrow operator here. Okay, so similarly, this is for get method. Similarly, for object also, object name pointer. How to access display method in a similar manner. Okay, so here, if it takes any input parameter, you can pass the input parameter. If it returns something, so you can collect it. Same way that you do for normal object, in a similar way, this can be called. But just instead of that dot operator, we have to use here arrow operator. Okay, so this is how you can call the methods if we are using pointers. Okay, if this pointer is pointing to the object members or that class members can be accessed using arrow operator. Okay, let us execute whether it is working or not. Enter X and it will display it. So this execution is for this first part, this part. Now next, this execution is now the next part. So I'll enter 20 and then 20 will be displayed. So this next execution is for this part. Okay, so I hope this is clear now. How to create pointer to object. Okay, and how to access those members. So now suppose now this is single object. Okay, but like if you are creating student class and you need to create 60 object of the student. Okay, so and for that array of object you want to create a pointer. Okay, so let us discuss how to create a pointer to array of object. Okay, so just consider that three objects are there. Okay, total 3 objects are there, and I want to create the pointer to this array of object. Okay, so now how to do it? See, in my class I'm not making any change. This is the beauty of object oriented languages. Okay, I'm not making any change irrespective of whether it is for a single student, 10 student, 50 student. I'm not making any change in the class. Where I'm making the change in the main program, whether it is single object or 10 object or 60 object. So here, to access the values in 3 different objects, what I need to do, I will create one for loop. For integer I is equal to 0, I less than 3, and I plus plus. In this for loop, now first, before accessing it, what we want is, with object it is easy, we know that. How to do it with object? With object, what to do? How to access different, members here?
Object name followed by index.
Correct. Index I have to use, and then I'll say get. First, get method to access the value of A, and then display method to display it. So obj, and we should have the index here, and then display. Okay, now. So this is using object. Okay, so this will be executed 3 times. Let us execute this program. enter x, so it is displayed. So combination is we are taking the input and immediately we are displaying it. So first input is taken, first input is displayed. Now next iteration of for loop now. So again it is asking for x, so 20 I'll enter and it is displayed, है ना, enter किया और यहीं पे display भी हो गया, x is equal to 20, and this will be iterated 3 times. So again next value and then it comes out of the loop. Now similarly the same thing I want to do with the help of pointer, for example. So how to do it with the pointers? How to make this pointer point to this array? Yes.
A object.
A object. Should I pass the address now? Should I use the ampersand over here?
No need, ma'am.
No.
No. The reason is that when it is single object, you should have ampersand there. Okay. But when it is array of object, the name of the array holds the address for that entire array. Okay. So the name of the array itself is holding the address. Okay. So that
Ma'am, you're not audible.
I'll write it here. Whenever you create any array, suppose this array size is 3, for example, है ना? 3 size है इसमें. So like here, I'll add 3 members, 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So this is how I have declared the array. So this one is when I say a of 0, what is that? A of 0?
1.
1. A of 1 is 2 and A of 2 is 3. Likewise, है ना? A of 1 is 2 and A of 2 is 3. है ना? ऐसे होता है. And if I say simply A, इसका क्या meaning है? What is A?
A of 0.
A of 0.
No. Then this point is not discussed actually when you learned in learned C language. See, simply saying the array name is nothing but the address of the first element. So for example, this array is stored at 1000 memory location. I'll mention the memory location in hexadecimal. That is why that OX is there. So this this is hexadecimal number and this is the address of the first element. First element कौन सा है यहाँ पे? What is the first element? 1.
1.
So 1000 is the address of 1, the first element. Okay. So simply name of the array will store the address of the first element. So the address is stored at A. And when you say A of 0, then it is the first element. A of 1 is the second element. When index is added, at that moment you can say it is element. But when index is not there, then it is address of the first element. Okay. Where 2 is stored, suppose the integer element takes 4 bytes to store. है ना? 4 bytes to store. So when you say A plus plus, what will happen? A को आपने 1 से इंक्रीमेंट किया, इसका मतलब क्या कर रहे हो आप? किसके साथ चेंज कर रहे हो? Have you changed the element of the array?
No.
No. Element में कब बोलूंगी? When I say A of 0 plus plus. तो मैंने क्या चेंज किया? Element चेंज किया. This is element. मतलब उसमें जो stored है, that is that element. Okay. When I mention the index, it is element, and when I don't mention the index, it is address. So when I say A plus plus, what will be the value of A? Next value of A. बोलो.
नेक्स्ट एड्रेस मैम.
नेक्स्ट एड्रेस क्या होगा बोलो?
1004.
1004. Why? Because this is integer type. Each integer value takes 4 bytes to store. आपने डेटा टाइप्स और उसके लिए कितना स्पेस लगता है ये सब पढ़ा होगा, है ना? इंटीजर टेक्स 4 byte, then what you say, character takes 1 byte. So all these things you must have learned, है ना? Short integer, long integer, ये सब आपने पढ़ा होगा. So likewise, if on that particular compiler, on that particular machine, integer takes 4 bytes, so the next address will be, when I say a plus plus, its address is incremented. That here it was pointing to the first element 1, and when I say a plus plus, it will start pointing to the next element, that is 2. Are you getting? It is pointing to the next element. जेव्हा आपण increment करतो pointer मध्ये a plus plus, so now it will start pointing to the third element. Likewise. Now is it clear? Simply saying a is the address, and when you add the index in front of it, then it is the actual element.
Yes ma'am.
Clear ना? हाँ. आता हे clear असेल तर now get back to this discussion. Now answer my query. आता मी परत हे लिहिते इथे. Now do you all agree कि in pointer I directly store the a object, this array. Have I stored this? If I store this, that means what? I store the first element in pointer. Pointer is not to hold the values. Pointer is to hold the address. And a pointer is to hold the address. So how to make this pointer point to the a object? I can directly say like this: a of object. A of object is the address of the first element. Address of the first element. What is another way to say address of the first element? Where first element is stored? Here first element is stored. First element is stored here. And address of first element, how to say?
Ampersand.
Ampersand.
Ampersand, address of the first element. Agree with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Clear, na? So either you can say this way, first element is this, okay, first element is this, and simply adding ampersand will make address of the first element. So either you can make it in this manner, or or simply name of the array. Name of the array is always pointing to the first element. Do not add the index here now. Simply name of the array is pointing to the first element. So this is how you can make that pointer to point to the first element. अब ये हो गया. Now again we need for loop. अगर 3 elements हैं तो I need for loop undoubtedly. Okay, so for loop is required here. Now using this pointer, if I have to access this get and display method, how to do that? Using pointer. Bolo.
Using arrow operator.
Yes, again arrow operator, same rule just we have seen. So arrow operator and method name. Similarly, for display also. Now this pointer is pointing to the first element. How to make it point to the next element?
Plus plus.
What plus plus?
APTR plus.
APTR.
That pointer need to be incremented by 1. पहले वो pointer किसे point कर रहा था? 0th element को, है ना? जो भी 0th element था उसको point कर रहा था. If you want that pointer to point to the next element, what I need to do? I need to increment that pointer by 1. So simply by saying pointer plus plus will make that pointer, will increment that pointer and will make it point to the next element. Okay, so now this I am not using anywhere here. Okay, I क्यों use कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे? Just iteration purpose के लिए कि I have to iterate this part 3 times because 3 elements are there. तो 3 बार iterate करने के लिए I am using for loop. I am not using I inside this for loop. If you observe this, because I am handling it with the help of pointer. और पॉइंटर कैसे काम करता है? पॉइंटर यू नीड टू इंक्रीमेंट इट बाय 1. नेक्स्ट को पॉइंट करने के लिए जस्ट यू इंक्रीमेंट इट बाय 1. Now is it clear? Let us execute it. So enter x, it displays it. Sequence तो वही रखा ना हमने. We accept the value, we display it immediately. Okay, then increment the pointer, मतलब make that pointer point to the next element. और फिर से ये for में जाएगा. Again this part will be executed. Again get method. So again we'll enter 20, it displays. Again we enter 30, it displays it. And program execution is over. Is it clear? Pointer concept clear है? Pointer to object and pointer to array of object. Any doubt here?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay. So good. So now let us move ahead with this pointer concept only. Like let us discuss this concept with respect to functions. Okay. So for functions also we can have pointers. Okay. For functions also we can have pointers. How to create pointers to function? See here, this is simple function I have written. Okay. Integer add int x, so it takes two input parameter x and y and calculate the addition and return that addition back, that result back. So here in main, how to declare the pointer to this? If in case, if I have to create a pointer to any function, how to create it? Very simple method, very simple method. Simply as it is syntax, you copy it. Syntax का है function सा, it takes two input integer, okay, and return one integer value. Okay, so same way, just same thing I need to copy here. Integer return type, two input integer. And simply in place of this function name, I'll create a function pointer. Here just you need to create one pointer. Okay, so same syntax, whatever is the signature of that function, as it is you copy it here. Integer, 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 two input integer, and return value is integer. And simply in place of the function name, you create a pointer. So this is how I can create a pointer to this add function. Okay. Now this function pointer will hold the address of the add function. So how to make this function pointer to point to add function? Just name of that pointer equal to address of the function. Okay, so simply use ampersand here to point it to that function. Now using this pointer, how to access or how to call the function? Using this pointer variable, how to call the add function. So this is how you can call it. The way you call it, how do you call it with the name, actual name? Simply you say, you collect the value from, just a moment. Here, I will type it. So if I have to call this function, add function, how do we call it? Some result, I'll say result is equal to add, and I will pass two values here. Okay, using function, how to, using pointer, how to call it? Simply instead of this name, I should mention the pointer name. जो भी आपने pointer create किया उस pointer का नाम. So do we change the way of calling the function? No, absolutely no. Okay, absolutely not. Like in a similar way, here I've declared it on the same line. That is why this int and sum is there. Okay, so you can declare it on the same line also. So way of calling that function doesn't change. It is absolutely same. The way I call add function using pointer also, I'm calling it in a similar manner. Just using this assignment, I'm making that function pointer to point to this add function. Okay, address of add. And how about declaration part also we have seen. As it is, what you can do, whatever function is there, यहाँ से copy कर लो, put it here. Okay, and then what change you need to make here? ये इसकी जरूरत नहीं है. Like you need not have that variable declaration and all that. It is interested, compiler is interested in prototype only. तो आपको सिर्फ क्या करना है, ये add function जो है, that function name to be replaced by a pointer. You can call it as PTR, जो भी name देना है आपको. Okay, just name of that function to be replaced by a pointer, and then make that pointer to point to the function. Okay, and accessing method and everything is absolutely same. The way you access it with function name, same way you can access it with pointers also. Okay, so this is how you can create the pointers to function. Okay, so here in this example also, I've created a pointer, but here some generic pointer I'm using. Okay, I've created a common type of pointer because both the function. Now, what is the use of pointer? Once you create a pointer to function, you can create, you can call all the functions with the same signature. जो भी function है उनके signature अगर similar है, so using one single function pointer declaration, you can call all the functions. Okay, how to call that? So here I have two different functions, add and subtract. The syntax or the signature of both of these function is exactly same. Okay, it takes two integer value and no return value, two integer again and no return value. Okay, so signature is exactly same. So how to declare a pointer for this? Void. Here instead of function name, I should have a pointer. Okay, and two integer inputs. So here I have created a function pointer, and type def simply I'm adding so that no, this function pointer I can use for the next declarations. Okay, so that's the reason type def is optional. If you don't use it, that is also absolutely fine. So here I'm declaring one function pointer, okay, with this name. Okay, so this is the use of type def. With type def, what I can do, this will become a pointer of type this. As a function pointer है, याचा type काय झाला? This function type, that is, it will take two integer values and it returns one void value. So one type you are defining here, and for that type I'm declaring this pointer. Okay, so like here what I have done, I haven't created the type as such. Okay, यहाँ पे मैंने declare कर दिया था, and here directly I'm making it point to the function. Now instead of this, here directly this function, this pointer I'm using, if you observe. But instead of here, what I have done, I created this type. Okay, function pointer type with the help of this type def. हे type def पण तुमचं C language मध्ये झालेलं पाहिजे, expected आहे. So this type I am creating of this for this function pointer, and now hereafter I can directly use this type. This will be created as a type, data type, you can say data type. With type def, what you do, generally we do it with structures in C language, है ना? आपण त्या टाइपचं data typeच create करून टाकतो. Structure student, for example. So type def is generally used to create a data type. So here which data type I have created? Function pointer type. Okay, and then later on I can create different variables of this data type. Now this has become a data type. So function pointer and this pointer I have created. Now how to make this pointer to point to the to this function? Now simply say ptr1 is equal to address of add. And now with this ptr, if I'm passing this input parameter 10 and 20, which function will get called? Add function will get called. Pointer is same, but it will call which function? Add function, because at this moment in time it is pointing to add. So with this function call, the control goes to this function. Okay, so you will get the addition of 10 and 20. Now same pointer I am using to point to the subtract function also. Okay, so here with the same with pointer only, if I'm passing these two parameter, at this moment in time, which function will get called? Which function will get called for this call? Subtract, because at this moment in time this pointer is pointing to subtract function. Okay, so here if you observe, I'm using the pointer name only to call different functions. Here what I'm doing, I'm calling this add function with the help of pointer, same pointer, and here I'm calling subtract function with the help of same pointer. म्हणजे पॉइंटरचं नाव नाही बदलत आहे. What I'm doing, I'm assigning different address to that pointer. When that pointer is pointing to add, it will call add function, and when this pointer is pointing to subtract, it will call subtract function. Is it clear how to create pointers to function?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, this
Yes,
is important part. Like before we start with virtual functions or runtime polymorphism, you need to understand pointer concept properly. So today we have seen different pointer concept. First program we have seen how to make pointer to point to single object. Then second program is how to make pointer to point to array of object. This is array of object. Okay, and how to access all those methods which are declared inside this class. Okay, so array, how to make pointer point to array of object also we have discussed, and then we discuss how to make pointers to function. Clear to everyone?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So now with this, now we have discussed on pointers. Okay, so now we can start with virtual function concept, because in virtual function concept we need to use pointer concept. That's the reason I want you to understand pointer concept properly without any doubt. So is there any doubt? Again I'm asking because your next topic is completely based on this understanding. Anybody, any doubt, please feel free to ask. Clear to everyone then?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay. Yes, thank you. So now let us start with your virtual function concept. Now when virtual functions are required, okay, it is required in case of inheritance. Suppose now this is class A. Okay, in class A, what I have declared? This integer x, and I am having get and display method to get the value of x and to display the value of x. Now similarly, I am having class B. Same thing I want in B, okay, except here instead of x, this is for y. Okay. But here what I want is I want to inherit class A. I want to inherit class A. So how to inherit it? Scope resolution, and then visibility mode, say for example public only, and then I'm inheriting. Okay, so here so A is the base class and B is the derived class, or this is the parent class and this is the child class. Okay, so I'm inheriting A. So inheritance is what? What is inheritance? I'm inheriting this class means what? I'm inheriting all the methods and data which is available here. So all this data and function will become now part of class B. तो ये सब कुछ कहाँ पे आ जाएगा? सब everything I have declared in public. So all these function and variables will become part of now B. हाँ? आता काही गडबड वाटती है? Is there like any what you say error is there or any problem is there with this code?
No, ma'am.
No, absolutely okay.
Ma'am, get and display.
हाँ, get and display क्या हुआ उसका?
Function name are same.
हाँ, है ना? क्या हो गया यहाँ पे? Function name भी same है, उसके signature भी same है, everything like input parameters, no input parameter, everything is same. If you see here, void get, and here also absolutely same function. Similarly for display also, no change in the signature. So now tell me, हाउ मेनी कॉपीज ऑफ गेट अँड डिस्प्ले इज अवेलेबल इन ए मध्ये किती कॉपी आहे गेट अँड डिस्प्लेच्या?
1 1
1 okay. How many copies are available in B for this gate
2
and
2
display?
2.
2 yes. So is there any problem here? है ना, कुछ तो गड़बड़ है.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay. Now let us call these methods. Let us observe this now step by step. And wherever you find doubt, no, immediately you make it clear, because now this discussion will go in gradual manner. म्हणजे एकावर एक आता आपण पुढचे पॉइंट डिस्कस करणार आहे. So any point in time, if you feel ki you are having any doubt, you can ask immediately. You can interrupt also in between. Okay. So here, suppose I am creating the object of A and another object for B. We'll give relevant name so that we'll understand it while calling also. Now, when I'm calling, when I want to call the method for X variable, to set the X variable and to display the X variable, where it is stored in class A. Okay. So I'll call these methods using A object dot get, and similarly A object dot display. Okay. This is how we call it. Okay. Now what about B? Again, B object dot get. And similarly B object dot display. Okay, so what is expected when I am saying this A object, it should call which method? A object dot get मतलब कहाँ से call करना चाहिए उसे? Class A से. Right, and for this it should call from class B. Okay, so here first we should get it for X and next time we should get it for Y. This is our expectation. Let us see it is fulfilled or not. What is the error? Semicolon is missing. तुम्हाला मी सांगितलं होतं, मला सांगा. Yes. So first it is asking for X. So it is for these two instruction, है ना? It is for X. So X I'll pass 10. It will display it. Correct जा रहा है. Now it is asking me for Y and displaying Y. तो हमने क्या expect किया था? Same expect किया था. Yes, that for this it should access it from A class and for this it should access it from B class. So same expectation is fulfilled by the compiler, है ना? Correct जा रहा है. तो इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? Like here, as I told you that this get and display function is inherited here also. इथे आलाय ना त्या? Yes, get and display function is also available here. 2 copies of get and display is available here, isn't it? Convinced with this?
Yes,
With
ma'am.
inheritance, what has happened? Exactly same copy of get and display is available to this B. मतलब B में कितने get और display? 2 sets है. Get के लिए भी 2 set है and display. But still compiler has resolved this issue. Compiler ने ये resolve किया, correctly किया,
Yes.
किया
Yes, ma'am.
करेक्टली. यस, जहां पे मैंने बी को बोला था उसने बी से ही गेट को कॉल किया है. दो वन मोर गेट फंक्शन इज अवेलेबल टू इट थ्रू इनहेरिटेंस से भी उसे ये गेट मिला है, लेकिन उसने करेक्टली ये रिजॉल्व किया. इट हैज कॉल्ड द गेट फंक्शन फ्रॉम बी. दो 2 कॉपीज आर देयर बट उसने रिलेवेंट कॉपी को ही कॉल किया है. सो इट इज रिजॉल्व्ड बाय द कंपाइलर प्रॉपरली. ओके, सो दिस कॉन्सेप्ट इज व्हाट? बाइंडिंग. कल हमने वी हैव सीन बाइंडिंग मतलब क्या, कि कौन से फंक्शन कॉल के लिए, दिस इज फंक्शन कॉल, तो कौन से फंक्शन कॉल के लिए एग्जैक्टली कौन सा फंक्शन को जंप करना है, whether this definition to be called or whether this definition to be called, because both are available to be. तो इसमें से कौन सा लेना है? कंपाइलर हैज रिजॉल्व्ड इट फॉर यू. किया कि नहीं कंपाइलर ने? Yes or no? Yes,
Yes,
किया है compiler ने. Yes, so this binding has happened properly by the compiler, which is called as compile time binding or compile time polymorphism. तो यहाँ पे हो गया एक आपका compile time polymorphism. Okay, लेकिन यहाँ पे कैसे किस टाइप से किया है, कंपाइलर नहीं किया है ऑलरेडी, तो इट इज कंपाइल टाइम ओनली. ओके, एंड हाउ इट हैज हैपेंड, दिस टाइप ऑफ कॉन्सेप्ट इज कॉल्ड एज फंक्शन ओवरराइडिंग. फंक्शन ओवरलोडिंग और फंक्शन ओवरराइडिंग में डिफरेंस क्या है? फंक्शन ओवरलोडिंग हम क्या करते हैं? फंक्शन ओवरलोडिंग में हम क्या करते हैं? void, suppose get is there, this is one
Same
function.
function with different arguments.
Different
Exactly.
parameters. Here all are
Exactly.
same.
Yes. So signature should be different. अगर मैंने इसको ऐसे कर दिया, कुछ भी चेंज किया सिग्नेचर में, this is the case of function. This is the case of function
Overloading.
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 Yes, wherein signature is change. Signature change किया तो कंपाइलर को पता ही है कि मुझे किसे कॉल करना है. कंपाइलर को क्लियर है, अगर मैं इसको ऐसे कॉल करती हूँ मेन से, तो विच फंक्शन विल गेट कॉल? फर्स्ट वन, है ना?
Yes.
और मैं अगर इसे ऐसे कॉल करती हूँ तो विच फंक्शन विल
Second.
गेट कॉल? सेकंड वन. कंपाइलर को ये बहुत क्लियर है, फंक्शन ओवरलोडिंग. यस, यहाँ पे क्या है, एग्जैक्टली सेम सिग्नेचर है, सेम सिग्नेचर, और इनहेरिटेंस के थ्रू इसे यहाँ पे अवेलेबल हो गया. Yes, two copies of gate are available with the same signature. So this is the case of function overriding. Override कर दिया, इस function ने इसको override कर दिया previous function को. Yes, so this was the case of, ये क्या था? Function overloading. Okay, ये function overloading था, whereas this is what? Function overriding. ओवरराइड करना. यस, ओवरराइड क्यों कर रहा है? क्योंकि उसका सेम सिग्नेचर है, एग्जैक्टली सेम सिग्नेचर है. सो दिस फंक्शन हैज ओवररिडन द फंक्शन इन द बेस क्लास, जो कि करेक्ट जा रहा है, एज पर एक्सपेक्टेशन जा रहा है, लेकिन दिस इज द न्यू कॉन्सेप्ट कॉल्ड एज फंक्शन ओवरराइडिंग, एंड दिस इज अलाउड इन C++ लैंग्वेज. यू कैन हैव function with the same name in two different classes, okay, in two different classes, and though inheritance is there, through inheritance, if multiple copies of the same function are available, but your compiler can resolve it properly. Compiler कैसे resolve करता होगा? कैसे resolve किया compiler ने? क्यों यहाँ पे get function from B class is called?
Object of B.
हाँ, it is resolved based on this. कंपाइलर को पता है कि गेट फंक्शन दो जगह पे अवेलेबल है, ए में भी अवेलेबल है सेम सिग्नेचर का, बी में भी अवेलेबल है. तो कंपाइलर हाउ इट रिजॉल्व्स इट, अगर मैंने ए ऑब्जेक्ट पे कॉल किया तो इट विल गो टू ए, एंड व्हेन आई एम यूजिंग बी ऑब्जेक्ट देन इट विल गो टू द कॉपी ऑफ गेट फंक्शन व्हिच इज अवेलेबल इन बी. ओके, सो बेस्ड ऑन दिस कंपाइलर कैन रिजॉल्व इट. एग्री विद दिस टिल दिस?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Everyone, no doubt so far? अब मैं थोड़ा सा इसे कॉम्प्लेक्स करूंगी. No doubt so far? Okay.
No, ma'am.
So now you understood the difference between function overloading and function overriding. Overriding मतलब exactly same and in two different classes with inheritance. ठीक है? अब यहाँ पे मैं क्या करूंगी? I'll mix the concept of pointers here. ठीक है? एक pointer मैंने create किया और A object, दूसरा पॉइंटर मैंने क्रिएट किया फॉर बी ऑब्जेक्ट.
Ma'am,
टाइम हो गया?
no, ma'am. I have
Yeah.
question.
हाँ, यस.
Yes, ma'am. What if we want to call the inherited function, like inherited get function?
कहाँ पे कॉल करना है आपको? बी के थ्रू कॉल करना है ना?
Yes.
तो स्कोप रिजोल्यूशन है ना, हमने देखा था. लाइक हियर सपोज अगेन आई हैव टू कॉल, सपोज यहाँ पे भी अगर मुझे करना ही है, ए का भी कॉल करना ही है, तो व्हाट आई डू? कैसे करना होगा? स्कोप रिजोल्यूशन तो है ऑलवेज, पॉसिबल है ना?
Yes.
स्कोप
Yes.
रिजोल्यूशन से कर ही सकते हो. सो दैट मेथड इज, आई मीन ऐसे कुछ नहीं कि वो कॉल नहीं कर सकते, यू कैन कॉल. सो स्कोप रिजोल्यूशन इज अवेलेबल फॉर दैट. तो वैसे तो हम कर ही सकते हैं, मतलब अगर फोर्सफुली हमें ए वाला कॉल करना है तो दैट इज पॉसिबल. ओके, लेकिन हम कैसे चाहते हैं, लाइक यू ट्राई टू रिलेटेड विद द एग्जांपल ऑफ स्टूडेंट. अगर मान लो ये स्टूडेंट क्लास है, और यहाँ पे एक एडमिशन मेथड है आपकी. ठीक है, अब मैं यहाँ पे चेंज करती हूँ एंड देन अगेन मैं फिर से पहला वाला ले लूंगी. तो स्टूडेंट है सपोज दिस क्लास, जस्ट टू क्लियर योर पॉइंट, और यहाँ पे मेरा एडमिशन वाला प्रोसेस है. And like same admission process for this. तो यहाँ पे एडमिशन वाला प्रोसेस मेरा हो गया. अब ये कौन सा है, सपोज मान लो ये MCA वाला एडमिशन है एंड आई एम इनहेरिटिंग स्टूडेंट क्लास. ठीक है, ऐसे ही मेरा बीटेक वाला भी एडमिशन है, मतलब बीटेक क्लास है, बीटेक वहां पे भी एक एडमिशन है. ठीक है, अब जो भी कॉमन एडमिशन की प्रोसेस होगी, सो दैट आई विल मेंशन हियर कि मुझे क्या क्या इनपुट लेना है. सपोज मुझे उसका नेम लेना है, एड्रेस लेना है, लाइक कॉमन थिंग्स आई विल मेंशन इन द एडमिशन प्रोसेस ऑफ बेस क्लास. ओके, अब एमसीए का एडमिशन जो है ना, वो थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट है कंपेयर टू नॉर्मल एडमिशन, वेयरएज बीटेक का एडमिशन एग्जैक्टली सेम है. जो कॉमन एडमिशन है उसी तरीके से, मतलब एक बीटेक का क्लास ले लेते हैं हम बीटेक स्टूडेंट के लिए. हियर ऑल्सो आई एम इनहेरिटिंग स्टूडेंट. ठीक है, तो अगर मान लो कि बीटेक के एडमिशन एग्जैक्टली सेम है जो मैंने यहाँ पे डाल रखी है बेस क्लास में, जो मैंने यहाँ पे डाली है उसके अलावा कुछ भी अलग नहीं है बीटेक एडमिशन के लिए. So should I redeclare that admission method here?
No, ma'am.
जरूरत है इसकी यहाँ पे?
No, ma'am.
No? Everyone is agree? अगर मेरा बेस क्लास जो दे रहा है मुझे वही सेम मेथड चाहिए, तो मैं यहाँ पे बिल्कुल भी वो करूंगी नहीं, लिखूंगी नहीं, क्योंकि बेस क्लास तो मुझे एनीवे दे रहा है. Okay, if exactly same method is followed, I will not have it here. Agree with this?
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ. Now एमसीए एडमिशन इज डिफरेंट. मतलब जो मैंने यहाँ पे लिखा है जो पैरामीटर्स, ये कुछ नहीं चलता है, ये कुछ और ही है. यस, इट इज समथिंग डिफरेंट. बट यहाँ पे जो बाकी क्लासेस है मेरे, एमबीए का और एक क्लास होगा, पॉलिटेक्निक का क्लास होगा, तो उनकी सेम मेथड है, तो देयर आई विल इनहेरिट दिस. बट यहाँ पे मेरा मेथड थोड़ा सा अलग हो जाता है एडमिशन का. सो व्हाट आई विल डू, आई विल ओवरराइड दैट मेथड व्हिच इज देयर इन द बेस क्लास, क्योंकि मेरा एडमिशन अलग है एमसीए के लिए. So I'll have all the relevant things here. जो भी मुझे यहाँ पे लिखना है, like code is different for this admission process because implementation is different for MCA student. Okay, got the situation now? क्यों लगता है मुझे overriding? अब यहाँ पे मेरा मेथड तो सेम ही रहेगा, उसमें चेंज नहीं आएगा, एग्जैक्टली सेम मेथड रहेगा मेरा, है ना. तो कहीं पे ऐसे है कि जहां पे सिमिलर मेथड है, आई विल नॉट हैव द वन मोर कॉपी ऑफ that same method. लेकिन जहां पे मेरा अलग हो गया, मान लो एडमिशन, I should have a specific copy of that function in that class, though it is available to through inheritance. अब अगर मेरे पास मल्टीपल कॉपी है, तो आपका एक्सपेक्टेशन क्या है? मैं जब एमसीए का ऑब्जेक्ट बनाऊंगी तो कौन सा एडमिशन का मेथड कॉल होना चाहिए? ये वाला एडमिशन कॉल होना चाहिए कि ये वाला होना चाहिए एमसीए ऑब्जेक्ट के लिए?
MCA.
ये वाला है ना, this one to be called when it is MCA student. This has to be called because उसका मेथड ही अलग है. This method to be followed for MCA. So the compiler should be able to resolve it for you, जो कि रिजॉल्व करता भी है, हमने देखा है यहाँ पे. It is based on the object that you call. सेम गेट मेथड था, लेकिन अगर मैंने A पे कॉल किया तो A का कॉल हुआ गेट मेथड, and if I am calling it on B object, it calls it from B object. ठीक है ना. और मान लो अगर बी ऑब्जेक्ट में गेट मेथड नहीं होता, इफ बी ऑब्जेक्ट डजंट हैव गेट मेथड, तो कौन सी गेट मेथड कॉल होती?
A वाला.
ए वाला, बिकॉज आपने बी में डाला ही नहीं है, तो इनहेरिटेंस से जो आपको मिला है गेट फंक्शन विच इज अवेलेबल इन ए, सो दैट मेथड विल गेट कॉल्ड. एवरीवन एग्री? जैसे कि मैं बीटेक का अगर यहाँ पे मान लो ऑब्जेक्ट बनाती हूँ, बीटेक का ऑब्जेक्ट, एंड इफ थ्रू दैट ऑब्जेक्ट इफ आई एम कॉलिंग एडमिशन फंक्शन, विच एडमिशन फंक्शन विल गेट कॉल्ड? स्टूडेंट वाला. यस, क्योंकि उसका अपना खुद का एडमिशन है ही नहीं, तो इनहेरिटेंस से तो मुझे मिला है एडमिशन, आई विल कॉल दैट मेथड. लेकिन अगर मैं एमसीए का ऑब्जेक्ट बनाती हूँ, तो विच एडमिशन प्रोसेस टू बी कॉल्ड? द वन विच इज अवेलेबल इन एमसीए क्लास. Are you getting why overriding is required?
Yes, ma'am. Got it.
यस हाँ, तो मैंने अभी एक रिलेवेंट आपको एक रियल वर्ल्ड एग्जांपल से बताया. ओके, नाउ कमिंग बैक टू आवर एग्जांपल. आपका टाइम हो गया. नेक्स्ट लेक्चर होगा ना, आज फ्राइडे है. आज नहीं, लेकिन फिर भी आपका नेक्स्ट लेक्चर तो है ही. ठीक है.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay. So let us take the attendance. Okay, so thank you everyone for attending the class. You can leave the class.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
everyone.
Ma'am,
Yes, go ahead.
ma'am, will you please share the PPTs of this unit?
PPTs I'll share because I have shared already the